everybody. How are we all doing today? I hope everything's hunky-dory where you are. I hope you're having a fabulous day. So today I wanted to explain a little bit, as the title says, why endometriosis is like meatloaf. Okay, so I heard a story the other day that tickled me a little bit, and I thought this is so true, especially in our world. So bear with me. The story goes a little bit like this. So little Jimmy is home from school one afternoon, and he's watching his dad, who's making tea in the kitchen, and his dad is making a meatloaf. So Jimmy starts asking all these questions about the meatloaf that his dad's making, wanting to know what the ingredients are, wanting to know where it comes from, and his dad said, oh, it's an old family recipe, so why don't you help me, son? So they have a lovely father and son bonding afternoon making this fabulous meatloaf. And they have a lovely time, laughing, joking, having a cracking time together. And then it comes right to the last bit, and he said, right, this is the most important bit, little Jimmy. Before you pop it in the oven, you cut both ends off the meatloaf. And Jimmy said, why do we do that, Daddy? And Daddy said, do you know, I don't know, it's how my mum taught me. So they thought no more about it. They cut the ends off the meatloaf, about 2.5, 3 inches off each end, popped it in the oven, and they enjoyed the fruits of their labour later on. So the next time they were visiting his family, little Jimmy said, Daddy, can we ask Grandma why we have to cut the ends off the meatloaf? And his dad laughed and said, yes, of course we can, little Jimmy. I wonder if he calls him little Jimmy when he's grown up. Anyway, yes, of course we can, little Jimmy. So off little Jimmy trots and says, Grandma, me and Daddy made a lovely meatloaf the other day, but we cut the ends off the meatloaf before it went in the oven. Why do you do that? What's the secret? And she laughed and said, do you know what, little Jimmy? I don't know. It's the recipe that your great grandma passed down to me. And I don't know why we do it, but it makes it very special. So they they thought no more. Well, they didn't think more about it. They thought, well, we're going to get to the bottom of this. So luckily, great grandma was still alive. She's in a nursing home, being very happy, very well looked after. So they rang the nursing home and asked great grandma why this meatloaf tasted so fantastic just because they cut the ends off the meatloaf. And great grandma laughed and said, I can't believe you're wasting all of that meat. Still to this day, the only reason I cut the ends off the meatloaf was because it wouldn't fit in the only tin that I had at the time. And I thought to myself, that's a daft question. So this is me speaking now. I thought to myself, that's a silly little story. What a daft story. But then I started to think, actually, that's so true in endometriosis. And it highlights really, really well how people just carry on with traditions, carry on with things that they're told that works, that things that other people do, that over time we lose that reason why, but people still do it. So if you're struggling with a chronic health condition, if you've got endometriosis, if you've got something, well, anything in your life that you do a certain way, so like with endometriosis, if you are on a diet, if you try a diet that other people have told you works, but they don't really know why it works, if you try a remedy, a therapy that other people have told you it works, but they don't really know why it works, anything in your life, if you're doing something a certain way that somebody once told you was the best way to do it, but you don't really know why, then question the why. Seek out the person who told you, or seek out people who can give you a really good answer as to why something works. Now, there might be a really good explanation why. That meatloaf might have had a really, really good explanation as to why a shorter meatloaf holds its moisture more than a longer meatloaf. I don't know. But the actual reason was something very, very simple. And actually, over the years, all the meatloaves that they'd made, they'd wasted so much time, so much effort, and so much meat by chucking the ends of the meatloaf away, when actually it was a completely unnecessary thing to do. So that's my little tidbit for today. Don't just do what you've always done because you think it's what you should be doing. Make sure if there's something that you're thinking, I don't know why I do this, question the why, understand the why, and if the why isn't serving you, then look for a different way to do it. Seek out people who can give you the whys, and seek out people who can give you different ways of doing things with thought out, reasoned and useful whys behind them. I hope that helps. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday, enjoy the rest of your week, enjoy your weekends, and I will see you soon.